Best Picture. Carolyn, I can't tell you what a pleasure it is to chat with you. I have grown up with your characters, so I'm just thrilled. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me. And look, it is the next best picture, Saving Bikini Bottom.
There you go. Exactly right. Well, you've been playing Sandy Cheeks for 25 years now, so I imagine you've got to be pretty protective of her character. When they announced a Sandy Cheeks movie and, are expanding her world a little bit, what are the pieces of her character that you wanted to make sure they really didn't lose?
Yeah, it's incredibly important to me. And anytime a new project comes up, I immediately get scared. I immediately get like, don't you dare take her somewhere where she's not supposed to go, because we're not going to do that, right? I think the biggest thing for me was making sure that the relationships and the friendships were still as paramount as they actually are, right? And obviously they are. The writers, they were all in on that. The minute I saw the script, I was like, phew, yeah, we're good.
That's great. Well, and I've heard you say before that when you started on SpongeBob, all those years ago, Steven gave you this massive binder of, all sorts of information about Texas and squirrels and oceans. Did any of that binder help you prepare all these years later, help you prepare for this movie now that we're seeing more of Sandy?
Probably. It's like when you go to school, right? And you learn all that stuff and then you forget it, but it's still somewhere in your brain. I think that's what it is. I think it's all in there, and then it like completes the circuit.
Do you still have that massive binder sitting somewhere?
Oh my gosh, I wish. I had no idea. I mean, we didn't know. We had no idea this would be, and I so wished I would have kept it. No, I don't have it.
Be honest, did you read through the binder?
No.
That's great.
No, parts of it, and then I was like, oh my gosh, it's so much information. I was a good student. I was like, yes. Oh my goodness, there's so much. Yeah.
That's so good. Well, I know that for the show, you often record all together as an ensemble. Were you able to do that for this film?
Bits and pieces. COVID changed our whole world in so many ways. And we're still like figuring that out. Like, how many people can you have in a booth at the same time with safety? And so it wasn't as much as normal, but it certainly was enough that we still felt connected.
And I've also heard you speak before about how much you love specifically the Texas episode of SpongeBob because you get to sing the song so often. Now there are all new songs to sing here. How much did you have to push to make sure that there were some songs in the Sandy Cheeks movie?
I didn't have to push at all. They already had it. And I was so excited because Monica did such a good job putting everything together. No, I didn't even need to say a word. It was all there. I had a blast. Actually, at the screening last night, the last song, it took every ounce of my being not to be a total dork and get up and dance. I was like, am I going to be a weirdo if I get up and dance right now?
That's amazing. Well, take me through your reaction when you first saw Sandy Cheeks' family for the first time. What was that moment like, seeing this world expand a little bit?
The first time, well, reading it is one thing, right? Like reading it, I'm like, oh, I get that. I like the dynamic. I understand it. It makes sense to me because a lot of families are like that. A lot of families, you have one, sibling or whatever that wants to do something different, and the rest of the family's like, what's that about? But then seeing it visually, it was so fun. Like, it's so fun that they are, I mean, come on. They are all in a big Texas way.
That's so good. Well, last question before I let you go, Carolyn, now that we've seen a bit more about Sandy's family and about her job, do you have any lingering questions about Sandy's backstory that you'd love to see explored in future episodes or movies?
I wouldn't mind, nobody's asked me that. I wouldn't mind knowing a little bit about her first love. I'd be curious about that. That's the only thing that comes to mind.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to save that one for the sequel. I can't wait
to
see
awesome.
it.
Yes, thanks.
Awesome.
Please.
Carolyn, thank you so much. Truly, it's an honor. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.